In the Heights,
We're recording the ensemble vocals for the In the Heights film, and the weird part about that is almost every member of this group today is an original member or a touring member of In the Heights.
One more time, that whole pass. Here we go. Really beautiful, boys.
It was really exciting to excavate every single one of the songs. Musicals come from when words aren't enough. So we get to go into their heads and make the streets come to life. The shelves shake to the beat.
It's about finding a way to use the rhythm of music and the scansion of lyrics and the form of poetry to glorify something that needs to be more special than just spoken words.
Jon was very adamant about it's got to come out of some kind of reality, you know, the connecting of the characters and what each song is trying to convey. And that was liberating.
And people say, oh, people don't break into song like that in real life. How many times have you been like, oh, that's amazing? We do that.
Okay, I don't want to know where you heard all that. I don't think I know what you mean.
We feel like we have to find some fuller, more intense way to express how much we love something.
You walk around and everyone has their headphones on. We fantasize that it's our life soundtrack. So that's kind of like how the musical is.
And a 1, 2.
Tell me something I don't know.
Exactly. Do we feel that?
Hell
yeah.
It doesn't feel like a traditional musical because it feels like contemporary music that you would be listening to any day.
It's hip-hop, it's salsa, it's merengue, it's bachata, it's R&B. As if you were driving through Washington Heights and you would hear on every block a different style of music being played.
I'm from here, I'm from there, I'm all of these things. Yeah, I'm singing to a bachata beat, but I'm singing in English.
The music in this musical feels like it's in our DNA, and we talked about, like, ancestrally what parts of the music and the score is from what parts of South America, the Caribbean, Central America. It's kind of wild the way that it kind of starts coming out of you.
I had grown up listening to salsa music, but I never had to notate it. And it was hard to find a show that featured hip-hop, let alone hip-hop with Latin influences. So.
The music has to be recorded, it has to be performed, it has to be readjusted to how it would be done on the screen, where you're 2 inches away from their face or 100 feet from their face.
When you're orchestrating for Broadway, you tend to write for the circumstances that that theater provides, whether it is a certain number of musicians that you want to have execute the score, people that you hire that will be at that show 8 times a week. There's certain kind of practicality about how to make that happen. And what I love about the movie process is that what you're really after is the best possible way to make this song sound the way that it sounds in our fantasy version in our heads.
As a songwriter, there's nothing more gratifying than writing songs about a neighborhood you love so much and then actually getting to stage them in the neighborhood you love so much.
Lin-Manuel is one of the greatest songwriters, I think, of our time.
When people think of Lin-Manuel and they think of rapping, but people forget that his melodies are something else.
I just spoke to him now and I said, you wrote this when? He said, I started writing when I was 17.
No me diga.
And those songs are poetry.
Every lyric has an intention to it.
Yeah.
He's playing with this, but he echoes this at the end of the song, or maybe in another song.
Anytime you write a song, you steal the best parts for the next song.
We sat with each actor and ran them through the songs like you would for a stage show.
Ooh, you better stop rapping, you're not ready. It's gonna get hot and heavy and you already sweaty. So 96,000 keep the the internal rhymes and the
I always encourage actors to really make it feel like they're speaking a scene. They just happen to be on pitch, they just happen to be in a specific rhythm.
During our recording sessions, we had Lin present with us every day, and we unlocked each lyric, each verse.
96K, go.
If I win the lottery, you'll never see me again.
Damn, we only joking. Stay broke then.
You're all having fun, and then she comes in and like says, "I'm leaving all of you." So you can be offended by that, like, damn.
Okay, word.
Like you have to like.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing now.
Damn, we only joking. Stay broke then.
Anthony had already performed the show, so he came in ready to go.
When I watched him, I said, I didn't write this part for me. I wrote it for him. I just didn't know it yet.
And with those 96, I know precisely what I'm doing. It's silly when we get into these crazy hypotheticals. You really want some bread, to go ahead, create a set of goals and cross them off the list as you pursue them. And with those 96, I know precisely what I'm doing. And with those 96, I know precisely what I'm doing. For real though, imagine how it would feel going.
This is a version of Benny that we've never seen, but it feels so right. And he walked in the first day of boot camp and he said, I don't really sing. And this voice comes out, and it's just phenomenal. Like, we all in the room, we're like, oh, whoa.
Everybody here. It's the same thing?
It's the same.
All right. I just can't breathe. Being in the studio with them gave me a little bit of confidence, because that's not my world.
You just open your valves because you have the voice, dude. You have the instrument, and I just wanted to like hear the, I just wanted to hear you sing with the band in.
Melissa on set is sometimes even better than she is in the studio because she's acting and she's performing and she's bringing it.
It wasn't until I was on set that I started like discovering her and who she is. And it helped me a lot to go over some of the songs now with picture to match the emotion that I had when I was singing it live.
I love it. You love it?
I love it.
We love it. Moving on.
The great joy of my life was Olga being my abuela, the full 3-year run of In the Heights on Broadway.
When Paciencia y Fe came, I would hear people of all ages, of seemingly various cultural backgrounds, say, that's my mother, that's my grandmother. Many, many people related to that sense of losing your grasp on history.
Olga is the song, and the song is Olga.
And when I sing that song, I feel like I'm in a trance. But I always have to go to this deep, painful place when I sing that song. I brought my original notes from the Broadway show to the recording, but that song is kind of in me. You know, I could do it right now.
My heart's about to break, and I, mama, what do you do when your dreams come true? I've spent my life inheriting dreams from you. Made it through, I survived, I did it. Now, do I leave or stay? Paciencia y fe.
I like that you nailed that with no clicks. Not a one.
clicks. Nena, pero...
What just happened?
You
Viste como me
blacked
quité
out.
la camisa y todo.
I was like, how is she gonna... Oh, she just... You nailed...
I guess we're gonna have a really good afternoon. It's really good. That was beautiful.
I mean, you could kind of go home.
Carnaval is like an homage to Claudia. It's like we've lost a lot. We might be down, but we're not out. And the fact that we're not out is enough to celebrate.
Carnaval has always been my favorite song in the show because at first it's a party and it's a celebration, but then about 2/3 of the way it gets kind of minor key and gets like really deep and heavy. It becomes thunderous. I think about the fact that for decades in Puerto Rico, Spanish was banned in elementary schools. Having the Puerto Rican flag was banned. That wasn't my generation, but it was my mother's generation and it was my abuela's generation. So the act of literally saying Alza la bandera still feels like a joyous revolutionary act. Anthony Ramos said at the end of it, that was for the ancestors.
Carnaval del Barrio, I think, was one of the greatest days of my life, period.